Wednesday marks 60 years since Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary reached the summit of Mount Everest. The pair's accomplishments secured their spot in the history books, but their legacy has also transformed the lives of people living in the shadow of the world's tallest mountain. Scott Heidler has been trekking towards Everest. He joins us live now from the Nepalese town Siangbot. Scott, how are the celebrations going today?
Celebrations right across the country, Nepal. Some here locally at a school just by, and a lot of other communities in the valleys around here, but also down in the capital, Kathmandu. A memorial to those two very famous climbers. There's a ceremony there. They're being honored there. There's also another ceremony for record holders for summiting Everest over the last 60 years. That's also going on. And also there's a marathon that started at base camp. It's kind of swinging through the Everest Trail and will end at Namche Bazaar probably in the next couple of hours. That went underway probably about 3 hours ago. Now, we have been visiting some communities here around, as you said, in the shadow of Everest, and how they've been impacted since that expedition back in 1953, and here's one of their stories.
Kumjung sits at the foot of the Sherpa holy mountain Kumbila, and before 1950 it was virtually sealed off from the outside world. That's when foreigners started arriving, looking skyward to Mount Everest. Kumjung lay on their path to conquer it. But on that May morning 60 years ago, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay forever changed the outlook of this small village. Recognizing the need to educate the Sherpa people, Hillary opened this school back in 1961. Since then, its students have been taught to look beyond this valley. Mahendra Kotet has been headmaster for 15 years. In his time, the enrollment has nearly tripled.
Before 60 years, or we can say before 20 or 25 years, people couldn't understand the meaning of education, the meaning of environment, and the meaning of history. But all the people are now, the people are very much educated, and they can understand a lot about the world.
At 75 and looking for a bit of adventure, Raymond Illman was passing through Kumjung in 2005. He met Mahendra and was very impressed with him and the school. He offered to help and funded the construction of a building for English classes.
The headmaster and I just simply talked to each other, wrote to each other. I'm an engineer, so I knew what I was doing. And we just got ahead and built the thing.
Raymond built a second building and is now collecting money for a third. The Kumjung school has expanded steadily over the last 15 years, and more schools have opened to educate the Sherpa community. There are a dozen now in the Khumbu region, funded by the Sir Edmund Hillary Foundation and international donors, providing opportunity for the younger Sherpa generations to look beyond the rooftop of the world.
It's very interesting. Scott, are you getting the impression that those younger Sherpa generation are going to follow in the footsteps of their parents?
Some of them definitely will, and one thing that this school is really trying to do is expand their horizons, because the trekking industry is very limited right now, and it's probably going to go through some changes. We've seen a lot of criticism and heard a lot of criticism as of late because it's getting so crowded up in that mountain, and that means it's much more dangerous for the Sherpas and for the climbers. So a lot more are looking to other ways to make a living. Still within maybe the trekking industry, hospitality industry, there are a lot of hotels and guest houses peppered throughout these valleys on the Everest Trail going up to the summit. So some are looking at that, but also, as we saw in this school, a lot of them are going to Kathmandu after they graduate that high school there. They're going to Kathmandu, getting an advanced degree, and possibly staying within Nepal. But we've been hearing stories too of advanced degrees in the United States and the United Kingdom. So they are expanding their horizons. But there are still some, though, that will follow in the footsteps of their parents, because the money, quite frankly, for the Sherpa community here, there's very limited other industries. It's quite lucrative for them. So a lot of them will still follow in those footsteps. But schools like this and programs like we just heard are trying to expand their horizons. Shireen?
Scott Heidler in the midst of the fog there near base camp at Everest. Thank you.